You see, when I was younger, I thought I had to hit a home run. Options trading, timing the market, flipping crypto. I was trying to make fast money. I'd make $500 one day, then lose $800 the next. I was addicted to the idea of making it fast.
But the problem is, you see, chasing fast money rarely ever leads to long-term wealth. In fact, it's just a good way to lose it fast. Because if you're always looking for a shortcut, you'll never actually figure out what it takes to build a real wealth stream. Because instead of trying to trade options, I should have been focusing on figuring out how to manage risk and emotions. I should have been thinking long-term and investing in things that I actually understand or get smarter on more topics. One thing that really started to stand out for me is that simple investing beats complex trading pretty much every time. And complex trading actually lost me a lot of money. See, now my strategy is simple. I dollar cost average into Bitcoin pretty much every week. And especially on dips, I'll buy heavy. That's kind of my strategy with Bitcoin. And with stocks, I just max out my Roth IRA every single month, which is $583 a month. With this strategy, I am consistently beating what I used to do, trying to trade options, trying to chase fast money, all that stuff just ended up putting me in a financial hole. And now I'm actually making money and it's way easier. Nothing like sitting in the pool, soaking up some vitamin D, best feeling in the world. I'm gonna finish the video in here because it was getting a little hot out there. But another thing that I wish someone would have told me at 20 years old is lifestyle inflation. So basically what this means is, as you make more money, a big mistake that a lot of people make is they start to spend more money. That is a huge mistake that is super easy to make, because when you start making $4,000 a month and then $6,000 a month and then $10,000 a month, you start to say, I don't really need that, but I have the money for it. Let me get it. And one thing after another. It could be something as simple in the beginning as going to the $25 restaurant instead of the taco truck on the side of the road. And then it graduates on to you going from a 2010 Toyota Camry to now you're buying a Mercedes-Benz and you have $1,000 car payment. And that's why you have people who are making 10, 15 grand a month that are still broke. The whole point of making more money is to get more wealthy, right? To a certain extent. I mean, if you're making 15 grand a month and you're spending 7 grand a month and now you're profiting 8, like, okay, you're still profiting well. But I think, in my opinion, until you hit that like 10 grand a month range, you still got to be pretty frugal. For me, with my lifestyle, I think after 10 grand a month, I could pretty much do whatever the heck I want. Unless you're living in, let's say, New York City or LA, it's probably the same case for you. Like, you could live life however you want past 10 grand a month. But until you get to those levels, you got to be pretty frugal. And the temptation is real, especially if you are single. I'd say it's even more real because now, you know, you're inviting girls on dates. You feel like you got to pay for stuff. You're buying a car because you want to impress people. You're going to the club. You're spending money. Like, you spend way more money when you're single, especially if you're the type of person that you want to like kind of impress people, which honestly, that's like a natural human instinct, is you want to impress other people. That's just how we are. Some people are like that more than others. So those people are probably going to spend even more money. But if you could keep that feeling of trying to impress other people to just a minimal degree, you are going to be well ahead of other people. I'm a pretty frugal person myself, so I don't really like spending money. But as I'm getting higher up in the income brackets, I am getting to a point now where I'm saying, okay, I don't have to be that cheap. Now I'm getting to a point where I'm really starting to invest into my health a little bit. I'm worried less about the cost of the groceries that I'm eating, and I'm worried more about like, what am I actually putting in my body? So that to me is something that I'm willing to not be frugal on, my health. And for me, it balances out because I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, I don't party, and I drive a 2006 Toyota Camry. So I have no car payment, obviously, and my insurance is like $50 a month. So I feel like I have room now to go and spend more money on my health, and I don't regret it at all. Plus, I eat out a lot. That's one of my kryptonites, is I can't give up eating out. But let me tell you this. Before I started making more than $4,000 a month, it was ramen noodles for dinner most nights. Of course, I still had my Toyota Camry back then. I wasn't going out. Even then, I wasn't drinking, smoking, none of that. I was doing nada. I wasn't traveling back then either. That's another thing. I spend money on travel now, but back then I wasn't traveling. I was eating very cheaply. So I was trying to save as much money as I can. But for me, once I got past like 5-6 grand a month, I was like, okay, now I could breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? And then once I got past 8 grand a month, that's when I was really like, okay, I'm not balling yet, right? Like I can't do whatever I want, but I could do most things now. Like I'm at that point where I could do most things. So that's a big tip, is as you start making more money to a certain level, don't start spending more. You know, you could kind of gauge it. As you make a little bit more, you could breathe a little bit more. You could be a little bit more open in your spending. And then, yeah, like I said, past 10 grand a month for me is like, all right, you could spend whatever you want now. Another huge tip for you guys, income. Income. I don't care how well you budget, how frugal you are, how tight you are. If your income is low, you are not going to advance in life. I don't care how frugal you are. If you're only making $3,000 a month, how you expect to get rich? How you expect to get wealthy? Like, it does not matter. You have to grow your income. Whether it's content creation, whether it's a college degree, useful college degree, I hope, a trade, sales, there's a lot of things you could do to grow your income. Even if you have a job that might not pay a lot, start a side hustle. If your job only pays you 4 grand a month, figure out how to start something on the side where you can make at least 2 grand a month. So now you could at least breathe. 6,000 a month, if you're frugal in most places in the United States, you could live very comfortably. You could invest well. So for me, my thing is like, I always think, unless you're in New York or LA, try to get to 6,000 a month, no matter what you do. Like, just, you got to get to 6,000 a month at least. That's my opinion. Obviously, with inflation going up, that's going to increase, but yeah. So somehow learn a skill that's going to pay you and then invest the money. Like, that is literally the key to wealth. Those two things: invest well and have a high income skill or job, whatever. That's it right there. Being frugal helps, but it's kind of just like the extra cherry on top. The two things you need is you got to invest, you got to use the money wisely, and you got to make the money. All right. And my last main tip for you guys is this: stop caring about people's opinion that really don't care about you. A lot of friends turn to acquaintances and then they turn to strangers. The parties, the thotties, all that stuff does not matter. If you are 20 or early 20s or about to be 20, you got to just be focused on yourself, man. You got to be focused, or women, you got to be focused on growing your income and just becoming an overall better person. Learn some skills, learn how to make more money, learn a new language, learn how to handle yourself, learn a martial art, read a book, do things that are going to make you a better person. And don't be afraid to say no. That's like a huge thing I've noticed in people, is they are afraid to say no for whatever reason. Like, if someone invites me somewhere where I don't want to go, I have never had a problem with just saying, hey, I don't want to go. Like, sorry, that's just not my thing. Still cool with you, but I don't want to go. I don't want to go to that party with you. I don't want to go do this substance with you. Like, that's just not my thing. And especially as I've gotten more, I don't talk about this on my channel, but I'm very heavily into martial arts. And as I've gotten deeper into martial arts, I've realized, like, I don't want to be in any situation where I feel like something might go down. You know what I mean? Like, I practice martial arts daily, but I don't plan on ever having to use my martial arts, because like, I box, I wrestle, and I do jiu-jitsu, and I don't ever plan on using any of those skills out in the streets, simply because I don't put myself in those situations. And those situations can land you in jail. They could cost you a lot of money, or they might even cost you your life. So another advice for someone in that age group, 20, 21, 19, whatever, is be cautious of what you do with your time. So to wrap this all up, because I'm kind of rambling now, is if I could go back to 20 years old, I would focus on making more money, learning a good skill, whatever that is. That's how you're going to make more money. Good skill, job, create content, do whatever it is, and do it well. And then start learning how to invest that money smartly. Don't be chasing high income plays. I mean, you can mess with some of those, but let that be a small portion of where your money is going. If you're investing 80% of it in the right way, Bitcoin, Roth IRA, growth stock, stuff like that, maybe even real estate, put 10 to 20% of it to the side for some gambling, some meme coins, whatever it is. Like if you really want to do that, okay, but don't make that your main thing, basically. And then just spend your time wisely. Make yourself a better person, make more money, and invest more. That, my friends, is how you're going to get stupid rich. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I tried to mix it up. I filmed on my Osmo Pocket 3. The lighting wasn't the best in some situations. I kind of already know that even before I edit it. But I don't know. I'm just trying a new thing with this new small camera. I'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll keep using it. Maybe I'll just use it here and there. I don't know. But hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope you guys learned something. If you did, comment down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what I had to say today. But that's it for me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.